Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of Cool Vibe Show. It's another day, another day, another episode, another time. More information, more vibes. I'm your guy Johanna with my guy
more than a year hapa hivi, and this is how we do it.
Oh, it's been a long time. It's called unavoidable circumstances.
We had to missed. Work on some things.
We have missed on this, but I think our audience will forgive us. We'll bring more vibes.
Thanks to the new member of the crew, Director Ali, kwa sababu now
tuko wengi.
The team is growing.
This is we promising you that we are going to bring more vibes. We are going to bring more good stuffs to you. With time, just bear with us. Just matter of time, and we are going to improve things.
Since last year.
How
are you doing, my brother? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's a new year in this show.
This is 2025.
Yeah.
And I'm a guy who is not happy. Within the first 22 days of January, this is 2025, over 6 Kenyan women have lost their lives in shocking wave of violence, gender-based violence, BV. BV what?
So sad.
Femicide, yeah? It's so sad. Femicide.
You know, me being a dad to a daughter, that's not good news for me.
It's so bad. It's so terrifying. And femicide is just another form of GBV, gender-based violence. There's other things. There are other kinds of gender-based violence. Things like sexual violence. Things like psychological violence. Things like child marriage. But femicide is what is killing Kenya as we speak. It has been a terrible thing.
It's a rampant thing.
And it's a rampant thing. For me, what I say is that I think when who is provoking who? Why do you think this femicide thing is there? Is it the women provoking men? Is it men provoking women? Because for it to get to a point where someone is killing someone, there must be someone provoking there. It can't just happen.
You know, there's an article that wrote about femicide and GBV, and they were saying that it's kind of, they were trying to term it as an issue of relationship and everything, and they got a lot of backlash because people are saying that it's not anything to do with the relationship. It's a crime. It's something that it's violence and everything. So you cannot like totally base it on relationship. But that's what is happening.
But when you look at it, when these killings, it's someone in a relationship being killed by our partner mostly. And there is no way that I get maybe naamka asubuhi naenda kwa dem ama kwa to a woman's house and kill her. It's not possible. I'm not stealing anything.
Something that grows gradually.
I'm not killing anyone. I'm not stealing anything from my house just to go and kill her. So for me, it's not a crime. I don't think it's a crime. I think it's a matter of relationship. It starts with we are having something that doesn't work out.
I tend to disagree with you. It's a crime, brother.
Okay, you can disagree. I agree.
It's a crime.
You can disagree, but causes of gender-based violence, as most of them they talk about, things like stereotypes. These stereotypical things, stories of some people, they say men should be aggressive. Men should be aggressive, should be controlling. You're supposed to
misogynistic.
As a man unafaa kupiga mwanamke saa zingine anasikia.
That's misogyny.
Okay, that kind of stereotypical things like stories, things like conflicts. Well, you see, like there are things when there is a conflict, and then unasikia watu wameenda to a refugee camp.
Yes.
Violence is there. Things like poverty, umaskini.
Poverty.
Things like lack of legal protection. Things like inadequate political representation. So many things that can contribute to. As you are saying, I get your point that it's a crime, just like any other. But if you ask me, I will sum up all this information to one thing: the cause of GBV, this this one type of GBV, as in femicide, it's I'll say it's a wrong choice of women when it comes to maybe women making wrong choice when it comes to choosing men. Listen,
do you know I'm listening to you and you're trying to describe toxicity. That is toxic. But if you get to a point, now it's violent, it's something that has grown with time, because people cannot just get in a relationship and they are violent and they just coexist. At some point, it has to get toxic, so that for it to end up to being violent.
Why?
I even saw a workshop where women were being told, like when you're in a relationship and you're seeing that there are some things are showing you, because obvious people know, like you know that this person at this point it's not working out. But some people, they stay, especially people stay in relationship because maybe they stay for the kids, maybe there's something that they see I'm trying to make it work, but eventually it turns out violent. But most of the cases you would see that like the recent one, this is the Nigerian guy who killed a lady, but I saw the interview and he was being asked, are you remorseful? Do you regret anything? And he said he doesn't regret anything because he caught the lady cheating on him. He had cheated on him multiple times.
What? Let me see.
So I don't disagree with you because it's all relationship motivated when it comes to, so that it leads to violence. It's all relationship motivated. But we have to condone it because it's a crime. Killing someone is not okay. When you murder someone, it's not okay. But also for this side, when we call it femicide and female and gender-based violence, most of the time it lies for the women. It lies on the side of the women because they are the ones who are being abused. They are the ones who are being murdered and everything.
Okay, I get you.
But for the other party, the male part now, they can also be listened to, because for us to solve this thing, you can never solve a problem with one side of a coin. You have to look on the other side.
Okay. I'm not saying that we're not supposed to blame men for this. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, this abusive man, this man who is killing a woman, how did they end up together? Because I'm saying it's a wrong choice of when it comes to choosing men. Because I always tell people this: you are in a relationship. I can tolerate any kind of nonsense from my spouse, from my wife, but when it comes to her throwing me mwiko, akinirushia mwiko naepa, I cannot tolerate that. When it gets to that,
but they say marriage is an institution.
Listen.
Sometimes the teacher puts you.
I can tolerate any kind of nonsense from my wife, but ikifika time anarushia mwiko naepa, anarushia sufuria naepa, anarushia maji sio idifiki naepa tena. Ikifikia hapo, it's going to call it a day. I'm telling you.
Did you see that video of that woman attacking the guy with a knife and the guy was...
I'm coming there. Yeah. Because, sometimes we want to make it that every time there is a case of femicide, of that kind of violence, it's a guy's mistake. It's a man's mistake. Yeah. It's like it's a man who started it. Why am I saying this? Because the moment you throw me a mwiko, obviously, even if I'm going to I have to respond. Even if it's not today, I'm going to respond tomorrow. And when you throw a sufuria to me, I'm going to respond somehow. I don't know, some people like men, majama masogi, wale kubeba gunia. Yule unamrushia mwiko, akitani mkono akirudisha mkono hivi, my friend, if you're not dead, uko hospitali. And those guys mostly, I'm saying we're not supposed to blame men.
There's no blame game. You're not blaming any party.
Because mostly, women, like now, it's the men becomes the target. There is the femicide. There is femicide. Men are supposed to do. Men are doing.
Now it's against men.
It's against the men. Yeah. I think that's what they did to Boy's Child. Because for like a decade now, there has been a campaign in African countries about empowering women. And now women are so empowered, and men are getting lost.
They're getting lost.
Men have lost. Boy child has lost. Let me tell you something. If a woman can make a good choice when it comes to a man, I don't think that these things can happen. Because I'm saying this because of, unajua kuna msemo, a very popular saying, ya kwamba nieri nililie kwa Range Rover kuliko nicheke kwa bodaboda.
You
get that?
I've heard that.
Now, in our country, Kenya, women have embraced this. They say nieri nililie kwa Range Rover. And this kulilia kwa Range Rover, it has turned to something else. They can die kwa Range Rover. Unakufia kwa Range Rover. Do you see?
Getting back to a point of something that you just said, there's a point when they started empowering the girl child. You know why we have a weak society of men who tend to take violence over women? Because at some point, hitting a woman was never an option for a man. It showed that you are weak. Nowadays, it has turned to even hacking with machetes and everything. I think the thing is that you have already said it. They empowered the girl child and forgot to empower the boy child, because empowerment comes even with the
information,
the emotion, the education, and everything. So if you empower the women, always if you side with one side, especially like now the campaigns.
I think I get you. What you're saying, bringing up a better man.
Yeah, better man. So we have a weak community because all the resources and all the support they've been turned to the ladies and the girl child. Now the boy child has been forgotten. So that's how we ended having a weak society of men who take misogynistic as something like they can be proud of, who can hit women and they can be proud of. Me, I cannot hit a woman. I know at some point when it escalates, maybe I will throw a slap. But I don't support hitting a woman.
Do you think
but now with the empowerment of the women, they have reached a point where they feel equal to men. And if they feel equal to men, men want to show that if you are equal to us, now we have to.
You know
equal power.
You are saying something that you cannot hit a woman. I can't myself. I can't hit a woman. But let me tell you something. People don't just get up and beat a woman.
Yeah.
I think sometimes the women say, "Beat me." Let me tell you how. There is some years back, like my uncle. I went to visit my uncle from my mom's side. And then there is another relative of Ace, walikuwa pamoja. They were men, like a young men. And this guy was married and my uncle was also married. So they were having a discussion kama venye wanaongea. I was a very young boy. Yes. And then I heard this guy telling my uncle, I want you to give me this chain. Oh, you see that chain that kama yenye nafunganga umbo yenye nafunganga boy. And then he was like, you give me this chain. I'm going to tie my wife as I beat her. You know that? Wow. Yeah, it was a very common those years that you're supposed to beat women, and she can't do anything. But these days there is nothing like that. I'm telling you, there is nothing.
They've been empowered.
I think they have been empowered. Yeah. I'm not saying to say that was a good thing. It was a wrong thing. It was a terrible thing. Beating someone is not okay. It's not kabisa. Yeah. But now, I think these days now, men they have become more docile. Let me use that word, because it's very rare to see a man turning to a woman with beatings. But now the women they are saying, beat me. The way they talk to men, the way now, because they have seen some stuff in the movies, and when sometimes you can beat you can slap your man. But now African man, when he is beaten, sometimes he can react in a bad way. I think mostly these days women are saying beat me, and they are there because I've had I'm lucky to have a better woman.
She's humble.
I think she's not bad. She's good.
What do you mean she's not bad? She's your wife, bro. She's okay.
She's not bad. But I've seen women. Yeah. I've seen women talking to their men in a way that
toxic ways, huh?
Ukisikiza uwezi oa.
Toxic ways.
You can't marry. I know them. So what you're saying, you can't beat. There are so many men who cannot beat a woman, who can't raise their hand beating a woman. Yeah. But these women, they are begging for it. Please beat me. Please beat me. So when something happens, now we start crying and all that.
So when do you think it escalates from beating to now being violent to a point where it's hitting and to a point where it's hacking and even murder?
Because tolerating wrong people, as I was saying, I think you chose a wrong person. That this person is not changing, but You chose him for a reason.
And you're staying there in the toxic relationship,
like now,
holding on the person.
Let me tell you something. Mostly, most women these days, ladies, they get to a relationship for help, financial help. Let me put it that way, and they don't care how bad this person is, how bad this man is, how cruel this man is, how aggressive this man can be. She doesn't care. She just wants financial help. She just wants to be there with a man in a Range Rover, in a Mercedes Benz, and she doesn't care who this guy is. Now this guy is a terrible man, you know, and he cannot change. And the first day, wanaenda, there is you said some women, they get to get married to a man who has ever beaten them. In a courtship, as in, ujesikia dem akisema nishaipigwa na my boyfriend.
Yeah.
This boyfriend beating his lady, his girlfriend. What do you think he'll do when they get married?
But I know that will end up being a violent marriage and a relationship.
Someone will die.
But also, turning to your point, where where you're saying that this person is abusive, this man, he has everything. But I think if a lady gets into a relationship because they want some benefit from the relationship, and now the guy is providing, the guy expects submission. But submission is not provided. Now the lady, after getting whatever she wants, she wants to get on top of the head of the man.
You are.
Now that I'm trying to I'm summarizing what you're saying because I've listened to you. But now you say that this guy is abusive. Probably the guy is not abusive at some point. But if the lady now, she has what she wanted, because she did not come in the relationship because she likes the guy or she loves the guy. She came in for the things. Now she has the things. The guy expects the lady to submit. The lady is not submitting. She has a relationship with other people. Now you're taking my money, eating with other guys. That, I think, that is where the toxicity comes in. That's where the bitterness in the man's heart, which turns into violence. So this thing, I can say that I can see both parties are participating to a point where it reaches to a point where it's now of violence and murder.
Let me tell you, there is no person who has a right to beat anyone.
No one has a right.
Even if I'm providing everything, as in breakfast, mi kwa nyumba mi ndo nanunua chumvi, ndo nanunua kiberiti, ndo nanunua kila kitu. I'm not supposed to beat anyone, leave alone killing someone. Hata nikipata someone in bed with another man, it's either I get out, leave, or just tell her to leave if she will, if she can. But I'm not supposed to beat someone.
It doesn't have to be violent.
It's wrong. But let me tell you something. Most women, you see, they expect, I have everything, a man has everything, I get married to you, naleta bibi, huyu bibi anakaa tu hapo, mi na provide kila kitu, nalipa nyumba, nafanya kila kitu. For me to do that, I can do it. You have to be a wife, a woman, a real wife. You do what a wife can do. But I'm telling you the truth. In this generation, there is no such wife.
No one wants to. We are all equal.
You know.
Nowadays,
I have.
Nowadays, we are all
I'm paying I'm paying rent. I'm paying school fees. I'm paying everything. But now you want me to wash dishes.
So the property of a woman.
You want me.
The quality of women, like in the past, where they would submit. Nowadays they don't submit.
You want me, if there is hakuna mfanyikazi kwa nyumba, it's either tupeleke nguo kwa dobi ama something like that. You cannot cook. You know, some women they can't cook for me. Why am I cooking for you? I'm not a maid. I'm not a maid. I'm your wife. So what is a wife? Now that kind of a woman who used to be like that, who used to submit, who used to be.
She is no longer there.
She's no longer.
She's
there.
empowered now.
You see,
to an equal.
Now, tuko hivi.
Yeah, she has been empowered to an equal.
Ameletwa ako hapa. And then sometimes I wonder. Women, what they want? Tuko kwa nyumba. Okay, she's working, I'm working. Tunakuja kwa nyumba. Nyoka ikifika kwa mlango ananiambia nikaangalie. Mimi ndo naeka bab, but we are equal.
Equal.
You see?
Yeah.
Mwizi akikuja, she can't get out.
Yeah, we're equal.
I have to.
Yeah.
I pay rent. I pay school fees.
The bills are all yours.
I do the bills are mine. And now, she can't do anything like what I'm doing, but we're
equal.
We're equal. It will not happen.
That's where the
obviously I'm going to be.
At some point you're going to get tired. I think it happens when maybe you go somewhere and you see someone who has a submissive partner. And then it hits you like, wow, this person has, how lucky is he?
No. Now that's why, in short, the wrong choices that women are making, because they want to go for things that men who are the ready-made men.
Yeah.
You see, a man with everything. This man with everything, regardless of what he is. Kuna wanaume mbaya unajua. Have you seen someone?
These guys are who scam people. The people who scam people. Someone has been scamming people. And now you are there, you want to eat the money.
Yeah,
some people.
Okay, there is anyway, away from that, this thing of femicide. Another thing that is causing this, for me, I think, this thing of infidelity. Infidelity.
Point, yeah.
Infidelity this way, because they always, the women are complaining, men are trying to justify maybe kutoka inje, sometimes they say when a man is doing it, it's right. When a woman is doing it,
they say men are polygamous by nature.
It's wrong. Let me tell you this. For an example, the life of soldiers. You see them. They're out there.
Yeah.
Someone is staying here like 6 months. You see their working conditions.
Yeah.
You see where they sleep.
Wow.
Umeona wale wanaishi.
The kind of danger they put themselves in.
And someone he has a mansion back at home.
Yeah.
Because most of soldiers where I come from, there are so many of them. The first thing these guys do when they get employed, there is some cash they get after training. After their time in training, there is they call it boom or something. There is a term they used to call that money. Those guys, what they do with that money, the first thing, they build a house, a very good house back home, and they marry. Now the woman is there in a very beautiful house, a well furnished house.